Namaste dear children, I am Rekha. Welcome to my channel Rekha's Knowledge Hub. Today we will see NCERT Classic Science Chapter 10 Living Creatures Exploring Their Characteristics Part 3 Life Cycle of a Plant. We have already learned about conditions required for germination and how plants grow and exhibit movement. Let us now explore the changes a plant undergoes in its whole life. What is germination? Germination is a process by which a seed grows into a seedling. Then, what are the conditions required for germination? To germinate, a seed needs the right conditions: water, oxygen, temperature, then sometimes light, etc. We already studied about these things, then how plants grow and exhibit movement. Now we will explore the changes a plant undergoes in its whole life. Let us explore. Plant a bean seed and provide suitable conditions for its growth. Observe regularly for 3 months. You plant a bean seed, you have to provide suitable conditions for its growth. You have to give water, essential nutrients, then sunlight, etc. Record your observations in table 10.4 as and when changes become visible. When changes become visible, you have to record your observations. Note the date when any change is observed. Record answers for the following questions. How long does it take for any change to occur? Make sketches of various changes that you observe in table 10.4. After how many days does the first flower appear? So you have to observe and record these changes. After some parts of the flower have dried, can you see any further growth? Which structure do the remaining parts of flower develop into? Can you notice a pod or a fruit with seeds developed from a flower? What happens to the plant after the fruits containing seeds are formed? You have to observe these changes. You have to record the answers for these questions. Changes observed during the growth of the plant. Day 1, seeds are sown. Then from day 3 to 5, what observations you have noticed? Seed begins to swell and seed coat softens after absorbing water. Then day 7 to 10, root emerges from the seed and grows downwards. Then shoots begin to appear. Go through the observations you recorded regarding the growth of the bean plant in table 10.4. What changes do you observe after the fruits are formed? Does the plant become yellow and dry even when you continue watering it? Sow the seeds obtained from your bean plant. Watch how the seeds give rise to a new generation of bean plants. Compare the sketches that you have drawn in table 10.4 with figure 10.4. So after the fruits are formed, do you observe any changes? Does the plant become yellow and dry even when you continue watering it and giving essential nutrients? Then you sow the seeds obtained from your bean plant. Then you can see how seeds give rise to a new generation of bean plants. A seed grows into a young plant and matures to produce flowers and fruits. What happened to seed? A seed grows into a young plant and matures to produce flowers and fruits. The fruit, in this case a pod, contains seeds which give rise to a new generation of bean plants. So the fruits or pod, in the case of bean plant, we will say pod. Pod contains seeds. These seeds will give rise to a new generation of bean plants. Then their process from a seed to a plant and then to the next generation of seeds is called the life cycle of a plant. This is important, what is called the life cycle of a plant. The life cycle of a plant refers to the series of stages that a plant goes through from seed to an adult plant. It is a continuous cycle because the mature adult plant produces seeds that start the cycle again. So the entire process from a seed to a plant and then to the next generation of seeds is called the life cycle of a plant. When a plant stops growing and all activities of life gradually comes to an end, even after the availability of all the necessary conditions, the plant is considered dead. So when a plant is considered dead, even after the availability of all the necessary conditions like soil, water, essential nutrients, if a plant stops growing and all activities of life gradually comes to an end, the plant is considered dead. See the life cycle of a bean plant. Stage 1, it is a seed. Then stage 2, seed germination. Seed develops into a seedling. Then stage 3, appearance of leaves. Then in stage 4, appearance of flowers. Then in stage 5, appearance of fruits. Then the fruits or pods will contain seeds. The seeds will give rise to a new generation of plants. So fruit or pod with the seeds. Then death of plants. Life cycle of animals. We have learned about the life cycle of a plant. We have seen that a plant goes through many changes in its life cycle. Have you ever observed how animals grow over time? Draw sketches of their young ones and name them. Life cycle of a mosquito. Mosquitoes buzzing around is a common experience for all of us. Female mosquitoes are blood-sucking insects that transmit several diseases like malaria, dengue, and chikungunya. So, female mosquitoes are the ones that bite and are responsible for transmitting diseases like malaria, dengue, and chikungunya. You might have learned from newspapers, school notice boards, or awareness campaigns that mosquito breeding should be prevented. Mosquito breeding is the process by which mosquitoes reproduce and increase their population. It is very important to understand this process to effectively control mosquito populations and prevent the spread of mosquito-borne diseases. We are advised not to allow water to stagnate anywhere in our surroundings. Why is it so? Does stagnant water have any relation with mosquitoes laying eggs? Stagnant water is a breeding ground for mosquitoes, and that is the main reason we should not allow it in our surroundings. Conduct a safety audit in your school or at your home and surroundings to check for stagnant water. If available, carry a hand lens to observe any small creatures. Can you observe any small creatures in the stagnant water? Some common places where stagnant water is likely to gather are desert coolers, planted pots, and any open container. You may find two different types of worm-like creatures. They are larva and pupa, two distinct life stages during the development of mosquito. In the stagnant water, you can find two different types of worm-like creatures. They are larva and pupa. Larva and pupa are two distinct life stages during the development of mosquito. In case you observe larvae and pupae, report to your teacher. Discuss with the teacher and classmates about the necessary measures one can take to prevent breeding of mosquitoes. What differences do you observe in the shape of larvae and pupae? See this picture. Larvae and pupae of mosquitoes in a stagnant water body. See, this is pupa. This is larva. Mosquito larvae and pupae observed in water bodies repeatedly come to the water surface. What can be the reason for this? Mosquito larvae and pupae live in water and require air to respire. They move to the surface of the water for air. Why mosquito larvae and pupae observed in water bodies repeatedly come to the water surface? Because they live in water and they require air to respire. So they move to the surface of water for air. I have seen my mother spraying kerosene oil on stagnant water. Why does she do so? What is the use of kerosene oil? Why we spray kerosene oil on stagnant water? Kerosene oil forms a thin layer over the water surface. This layer separates water from air and does not allow larvae and pupae to inhale air. As a result, they die. So, kerosene oil will form a thin layer over the water surface. So, this layer separates water from air and it does not allow larvae and pupae to inhale air. As a result, they will die. Let us analyze. Let us solve an interesting puzzle. How will you decide which stage, larva or pupa, comes immediately after the egg stage? So, after the egg stage, which stage comes immediately, larva or pupa? We have to find out. Suppose you are given a container with water from a puddle containing larvae and pupae. Design an activity to find out the correct sequence of these stages. You can take help of the following activity designed by Avadi to create your own activity. See Avadi's design. I have a water container with mosquito larvae and pupae. She has a container with mosquito larvae and pupae. I will separate 4 to 5 larvae and pupae into two separate containers with the same water. She separated 4 to 5 larvae and pupae into two separate containers with the same water. I will observe them every day until I see them changing to the next stage. If the larvae changes into pupae, it would mean that the larval stage comes before the pupal stage or vice versa. I will keep watching both the containers to see in which one a mosquito appears first. These observations will help us to learn the correct sequence of growth. Now suppose you are given a container filled with water from a puddle which contains larvae and pupae. Without separating them from the container, how would you design an activity to decide which stage out of the two gives way to the next? So without separating larvae and pupae from the container, how would you design an activity to decide which stage out of the two, larvae and pupae, gives way to the next? See the life cycle of a mosquito. Stage 1, it is egg. Then stage 2, larva. This is larva. Then stage 3, it becomes pupa. Then stage 4, adult mosquito. So egg, larva, pupa, adult mosquito. Let us learn more about these stages in the life cycle of a mosquito. Mosquitoes pass through 4 stages in their life cycle: egg, larva, pupa, and adult. So there are 4 stages in the life cycle of a mosquito. Which are the stages? Egg, larva, pupa, and adult. The adult mosquito that emerges from the pupa rests briefly on the surface of water and then flies away. The adult mosquito may survive for 10 to 15 days. So the adult mosquito that emerges from the pupa rests on the surface of water and then flies away. The adult mosquito may survive for how many days? 10 to 15 days. We have seen that a mosquito begins its life as an egg. Stage 1. Stage 1 in the life cycle of mosquito is egg. The egg develops into a larva, that is stage 2. The larva grows into pupa, that is stage 3. And the pupa transforms into an adult mosquito, that is stage 4. The adult female mosquito lays eggs directly on or near water and the cycle continues. So the 4 stages in the life cycle of mosquito are egg, larva, pupa, and adult mosquito. The female adult mosquito lays eggs directly on or near water and the cycle continues. Significant changes occur in the appearance, body shape, and structure during the various stages in the life cycle of a mosquito. The shape of the egg is quite different from the larva. The larva appears very different from pupa. The pupa appears very distinct from the adult mosquito. Is it easy to imagine that a mosquito emerges from a pupa? So, there are significant changes in the appearance, body shape, and structure during the various stages in the life cycle of a mosquito. Silk moth also passes through 4 life stages: egg, larva, pupa, and adult. Eggs hatch into larvae, which then grow in size. Larvae secrete thread-like material, which they wrap around themselves before changing to pupae. These are the fibers that are used to make silk fabric. In India, the Khadi and Village Industries Commission (KVIC) has set up several centers for silk production. So the 4 life stages of a silk moth are egg, larva, pupa, and adult. Eggs hatch into larvae. Larvae secrete thread-like material, which they wrap around themselves before changing to pupae. These are the fibers used to make silk fabric. Life cycle of a frog. Let us analyze. Avadi and Ayush are dressed up in full sleeves, shirts, and full pants today. It has been raining intermittently for a week. What do you mean by intermittently? Intermittently means at irregular intervals. That means not continuously or steadily. So it has been raining intermittently for a week. They are going out with their classmates for an activity. After a brief walk led by their science teacher, they reach a shallow pond. It is surrounded by trees and tall grasses. The teacher cautions them to watch everything from a distance without causing any disturbance. You may also go to a small water body during the rainy season with a facilitator and explore it by taking due safety precautions. During rainy season, you can go to a small water body and you can explore it. You may notice a white jelly-like substance on the surface of water towards the edge of the pond. This may also be attached to plants growing in or around the water. This jelly-like substance is actually a cluster of eggs of a frog and is known as spawn. When you go to a small water body during the rainy season, you can notice a white jelly-like substance on the surface of water towards the edge of the pond. This jelly-like substance may also be attached to plants growing in or around the water. This jelly-like substance is actually a cluster of eggs of a frog. It is known as spawn. Different stages of a frog in a pond. See, A, B, C, D, E and F. These are the different stages in the life cycle of a frog. See, A is spawn. See, this is spawn. Then B is an embryo. Then C, tadpoles with a tail. D, this stage is similar to C, but it has two legs. Then what about E, froglet. F, adult frog. You will find 4 stages in the life cycle of a frog. The egg stage, which progresses to the embryo stage. See this figure. First stage is egg stage. See here, 2 stages are clubbed. Stage 1A, spawn, day 1. Then stage 1B, embryo, day 3 to 4. These 2 stages are clubbed together. So this is the egg stage. And next stage is tadpole stage. This tadpole stage consisting of an early stage with a tail and no legs and a late stage with the hind legs. See stage 2A tadpole with the tail but with no legs. Then a late stage with the hind legs. See tadpole with the legs, 8 to 10 weeks. Then the froglet stage. Third stage is froglet, around 12 weeks. This is the froglet stage. And the final stage is adult frog, stage 4, 14 weeks. Discuss in the class along the following points. How are these eggs of a frog different from the other eggs that you may have seen? Which stage has the shortest duration? Is there a change in the habitat during the various changes in the life cycle of a frog? How do the special features support that stage? You will see that tadpoles develop legs but still have tails. They develop legs but they still have tails. Tails help them swim in water. So what's the use of tail? These tails help them swim in water. Tadpoles grow gradually and start looking like little frogs called froglets. So froglets, tadpoles grow gradually and start looking like little frogs. They are called froglets. They still live in water but begin to spend some time on land. These froglets, they still live in water but they spend some time on land. They continue to grow and lose their tails completely. The froglets, they continue to grow and lose their tails completely. Their legs become strong to help them jump and land. They become fully developed adult frogs living both in water and on land. The adult frogs can live both in water and on land. Do you think that birds also showed significant changes in the various stages of their life cycle? How does the life cycle of animals differ from that of plants? Plants and animals are a part of the living world. They go through various changes during the course of their lives. We have learned that a tiny plant grows and develops into a big tree. We have also learned how animals grow and change from young ones to adults. This journey varies for each animal, making it unique and special. We have seen pupae change into insects and tadpoles change into frogs. Such changes are important for plants and animals to survive and to maintain continuity of their kind. We should also take care of them and their homes. By nurturing and preserving their homes, we contribute to this flourishing living world. Children, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. We will see you in the next video. Thank you.